Hey everyone, it's Synth Designer back again with another Sound Design Basics video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to set up an atmospheric drone. Now drones are used all over the place in electronic music. Pretty much in any genre you'll hear some drones. Obviously not every song, but they're a really popular way of just adding some atmospheric kind of sound in the background to complement the rest of the sounds. So I wanted to show you how to set up a drone in a couple different ways, and I just wanted to show you how easy it is to get great sound with pretty minimal effort. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're a beginner, be sure to check out my Sound Design Basics playlist. It has all sorts of great tips for beginners, taking you through the basics of wavetables or creating different sounds. It's all there basically. If you're kind of an intermediate or more advanced, there's lots of other great videos on the channel, and I hope you enjoy these videos, and please like and subscribe, and also please comment if you want to see anything in particular. So why don't we get into how to create these drones. First, let me play you this basic pad and bass I have going. So as you can hear, it's kind of like a retro kind of 80s sound, which I love to create, but maybe it could use a little bit of extra here. So let's open a new instance of Serum. And the great thing is you can do this basically in any synth, as I'll show you. But I'm going to use Serum just because this is usually what I use for a lot of sound design. So creating a drone is pretty easy, and I'll show you how to get started. First, go back and check out your chord progression, for example. So right now I have a chord progression that starts in G major. This is a inverted, then goes to D, and so on. So the point is finding the key of your track. Now, if you're not familiar with any music theory, usually the key is the root note of your first chord. Now, in this case, this is an inverted chord, so the G is actually the root note. I know it's a little bit confusing if you're just starting out. However, there's a lot of great tools on the internet where you can just type in certain chords that you have put together, and it'll probably tell you the key of the track. So since we have G here, let's go to a new pattern, open up a new instance of Serum, and then go into the piano roll again, and then just do a drawn out note of G. Now, this could be as long or as short as you want. It depends how long you want the actual drone to be in the song. So I'll just take it and then put it into the arrangement here. So what do we have here? We have basically a long G note. And let's see how it sounds on its own. Maybe I'll turn it down a bit just because I know it's going to be loud. Let's just hear how it sounds within the song. So that sounds pretty buzzy and annoying. So let's just turn on the filter. Okay. Now it doesn't sound much like a drone at all, right? So what we're going to do is turn on the delay and the reverb, and then really crank it up, especially the reverb. And then turn up the delay and the feedback. All of a sudden we get something a little bit more interesting. Now it does have a lot of low information. So all of a sudden now we have that kind of complement to the pad. The pad has a lot of saw type of sound to it. So this is going to complement it great because it's just a basic saw wave here. And if you want to add a lot more stereo information, of course, you can just put it into more voice unison. And then a great trick, you can add some chorus too. So let's just hear it on its own. Now this great, just subtle sound here we have going. And then back into the song. And you can hear it just matches so well. And then if you're not sure about the key, for example, you can always go back into the piano roll and just start messing around. So we saw a lot of D notes as well. Maybe it's actually in D and see how that sounds. Great sound as well. So mess around and see exactly which key your song is in. And if you don't know, the easiest thing to do is just mess around and play around. And we can even try different types of notes. The important thing is don't mess around too much when it comes to picking different notes. There's only going to be a certain amount, especially if you're trying to keep within key. And I'll show you if you're out of key, for example, in D sharp. There you go. There's D sharp. Really annoying. But say, for example, I saw a bunch of A's in there as well. See that? Again, it's all about the harmonics there. I'm not going to get into music theory, but certain sounds are going to work great with it. And it's just one long note, so you can obviously just move it back and forth and see what sounds best. So then the second method, we'll keep the same chord progression, but we're going to change up the drone and how it works a little bit. Why don't we reset everything here? Turn on the init preset here for Serum. And what we're going to do here is just mess around and see what we have. So assuming the song is in D, you can take the D and then you can also take a note that's a fifth above the D. So the fifth is going to be a sound that sounds perfectly harmonious with the root note. So in this case, it's the B note. And to another way of remembering is that it's 7 semitones above your root note. So what we're going to do here is just copy and paste these. Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste through 4 bars. Now here's how it sounds on its own once I turn it down, because it's going to be really buzzy and annoying. Okay, so what we have here is basically just a sound going back and forth between the root note and the fifth. Let's turn on the filter. Maybe let's just hear on its own first. So again, let's turn on the reverb. Turn it way up. And then turn on the size. And the decay, turn it up as well. And you're hearing the going back and forth between the notes less and less, and what you're hearing is more of a blurred sound. Let's turn on the delay. Turn it down a bit. Maybe turn on the chorus. There you go. You're getting something a little heavenly here now. All just for 2 notes going back and forth. Let's just hear it in context now. And that's without it. And turn it back on. So there's just 2 easy ways of creating some drones. Now, there's obviously a lot of different ways, and you can mess around as well. You can take this pattern, for example, and just add in some higher harmonics as well. Maybe add a D note, sprinkle in a D note every once in a while, a lot higher, just to kind of get out a little bit more sound. Maybe add a little higher harmonics every once in a while. And the basic way of creating these is basically the same every time. Add a lot of reverb, add a lot of delay, and then you can use something like chorus. Remember to EQ out some of the lows because it can get really muddy really quickly. But these can add a lot of flavor and atmosphere to your songs very quickly without a lot of effort. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.